calling thing. I think that's a great idea. As a matter of fact, that was one of the things on my list of questions that I don't think we touched upon, and that is, obviously we know you've done a lot of writing about William Grimes, all right? But I thought you might want to point out other family members that you've discovered that you think are outstanding, that you have learned about.
Sure. I found a lot of ordinary people that did extraordinary things, and just blew me away. Because as you saw in the trailer, I was this little girl challenged with a class assignment, and I didn't think I had a history worth trumpeting at all, okay? But of course, we all come from remarkable histories, and we all have remarkable ancestors who were ordinary people that did extraordinary things. William Grimes had a daughter named Cecilia Victoria. She came to San Francisco in the early 1850s, just shortly after statehood. She was a remarkable woman because her life should have been relegated to servitude, but she decided she was going to carve out her own path. And she became a prolific Shakespearean performer in the 1860s, performing to integrated audiences right here in San Francisco. Just floored me that she would have the audacity to have this esteem about herself, and the education as well. I had always heard about Cecilia, the tragedian, when I was a kid. And this goes to show you how stories get told from one generation to the next. My Aunt Catherine this Cecilia woman was her shero. And when I began to do the research, Cecilia was even more extraordinary than the family originally knew. And not only that, she started schools, helped to fund schools in the Bay Area. She was part of different literary societies where African American students could not go or be integrated in the school system, so they started their own schools, they started their own churches, they started their own newspapers, and I thought, my God, what am I complaining about, you know? So I realized that out of the ordinary comes the extraordinary. So, but anyway, Aunt Catherine would always tell me about this wonderful tragedian or Shakespearean performer as if she had known her. But when I did the research, Aunt Catherine was just a baby in arms when Cecilia died. But it was the story that was told generationally that stayed with even those who never knew this woman. And so that's the power of family history. So I think that William Grimes is definitely this outstanding figure, but his children were as well. They, too, were outspoken against slavery, and you could find this in early black African-American newspapers where they were quoted in the press. So I'm giving you examples of what you will find once you start looking. And the records are there, regardless of what walk of life, what your background is. The records are there if you are willing to put in the time to do the research. So that was just an example of one other extraordinary woman. There were others. People that went against the status quo, standing up for citizenship, standing up for equal rights, being some of the first advocates for civil rights in California. And I would have not known that I came from that, or that it was in my DNA, if I had not started looking around.